guys, welcome back to the Real Southern Garden. I'm Sarah, and today I just want to take you around the gardens and my property and show you what I have been working on here behind the scenes the last couple of weeks. So obviously I don't show you everything that I do because I don't think you guys want to watch me weed and mulch everything and move around brush and debris and all of that, because I don't think it makes for great YouTube content, but maybe you do want to see it. I don't know. I usually just show you snippets of it and then kind of walk you through what I've done. And I'm going to show you the different projects that I have going, what I've been working on here. And then also, of course, all of my beautiful fruit trees, all my Georgia peaches are blooming. And it's kind of funny because when we first moved to Georgia, my husband and I were looking for an apartment, then we were looking for a property eventually. And we were just driving around and we were like, where are all of the Georgia peaches? This is the peach state. And we weren't seeing any peaches. And then it turns out we ended up buying a property with a bunch of peach trees on it. We didn't even know that for a little while. But yeah, they're really old trees, but they still produce for us. We get about 150 peaches every July-ish. We get 1,000 of them that are actually on the trees, but only about 150 that are edible because we do everything organic. And of course, like the fungus and the bugs get to them and that kind of thing. So they're pretty neat though, and they're pretty beautiful right now. So I want to show you those. And my saucer magnolia is blooming. My old camellia back in the rose garden, it's a japonica. It's in full sun, but it does make its own shade because it's so old and big. It's able to withstand that full sun location, and just some fun stuff. So let's go head out and see how things are looking in early spring. Okay, so starting over here, this is going to be my azalea and rhododendron bed. I'm also going to have some hydrangeas that are going to border the outside part, but I'm going to keep it half wild and half cultivated flower bed look because this is such a large expanse over here. It would be ridiculously hard for me to keep this weeded and mulched and like it would just be crazy. So the inside is going to remain kind of wild, but I'm going to have a border of hydrangeas. Like I said, here it's going to be the closest part to the grass, and then the azaleas behind those and the rhododendrons in the back. And what I have been doing is, you see that giant pile down there of brush and sticks? This was like a throwaway zone where the previous owners threw a lot of dead wood from all these old trees, and it was just all piled up here in the middle. It was a really big pile there and then all the way around. So I've been moving it down there. That actually didn't take me that long to do it. It wasn't fun, but it didn't take that long. So all I have done with this area is there are some Mount Hood, hold on one second, that car is loud. Some Mount Hood daffodils that I did plant here a couple seasons ago. And that is the only thing that I have really done in this area. It's got a ton of poison ivy still. It's not growing yet, of course, because it's early spring, but this bed is definitely very, very wild. And we're gonna, like I said, halfway make it cultivated and then leave it a little bit wild at the same time. And I think it's gonna look really, really nice when we're done. So let me take you around this side. You can just see it winds all the way around to the street. And let me show you, I'm pretty proud of this giant stick of, giant pile of sticks that I moved. Let me go show you exactly how big that is. But first, let's check out one of these Mount Hood daffodils so you can see how big those are. They are so pretty. They're pretty good size. So all of this had this brush and I removed it, and I'm pretty proud, guys. You can tell I'm proud because I keep talking about it. But this is it never looks as big on video, but this is a giant pile of just branches and sticks and everything that have fallen from these old trees. I'm always very careful when I'm out here, knock on wood. I should wear a helmet, really. I don't know if the helmet would even help me, but yeah, I'm very careful, and I don't work under these trees when it's windy just because I don't want to get hit by a branch. All right, so now let's head back up. I do have a little peach tree right there in the middle of the yard. That one doesn't really do great for producing fruit. It is still there right now. And there was a peach tree up here that we removed, and it was really shady and it didn't work out. So let's head to the front flower bed really quick. So I'm wanting to add in some astively this year, and I'm probably gonna get that at one of the specialty nurseries because I don't usually see that at the big box stores, but astively and some silver gumdrop heuchera. And we still have some pansies that are doing well. You can see that my daffodils are pretty much done. They are no longer blooming. But I think that the silver gumdrop heuchera and the astively will look really great. And we already have a ton of pollen coating our front porch. I'm not even gonna show you that. Everyone has been sniffly, and both of my girls have had some allergies. I've been okay this year, which is surprising. All right, and now we're gonna head over kind of to the side of our front of our property. You can see those beautiful cherry trees along the fence blooming, and then I've got my saucer magnolia up here still blooming. And this is really neat because when you look at these two trees from a distance, like from the front of, well, I guess it's the back of the property, it almost looks like a mauve color because you see the mauve purple color. You see the I'm drawing a blank right now. This little guy, this Japanese maple in front of this pinky tree, and then the white behind it, and they kind of all blend and make this mauvey purple. It's really cool. See if I can back up and get it so you guys can see on camera. Yeah, it's a really neat shot from here. But I love that saucer magnolia. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I'll get 2 blooms out of her. So she is a really cool tree to have. Let me show you our fruit trees really quick. We just fertilized those. These are our new apple trees. I say new because we planted them. We haven't had any apples yet, of course. They're still babies. But our little apple orchard here, we've got, I forget the name of that one. I had an apple crisp, or was it apple crisp? I forget the variety, guys. I'm really sleepy today. I've not woke up yet. Anyway, Golden Delicious is one that I know that I have, and something crisp. It's that popular one. I can't think of the name of it. And one that starts with an M that I can't pronounce right there. That one's the healthiest. But got those fertilized, and then I'm gonna be mulching this little bed soon. Hopefully today. I'm gonna paper it, mulch it. I've got some stuff to plant in that little container over there. And then this is my bridal respirea. She is about to bloom, but she hasn't yet. And I love her, and I can't wait to show you guys that when she is blooming. Isn't she just amazing? This tree is so beautiful, and it smells so good. It's just, oh my goodness. Never saw these growing up, so couldn't believe how neat they were the first time that I did. Really, really pretty. We have really enjoyed her. I had the girls out here. I made them take some pictures underneath it. Just such a pretty tree. On this side, the hostas are waking up. They just like really stand back there. They like wake up overnight. It's really crazy how they do that. And then, of course, our beautiful blush rosette rose. She is, I gotta tie her to that trellis a little bit better. Or arbor, sorry. And the plan is to get a new arbor one day. We also need to straighten up this pathway. So I kind of don't want to add the arbor till we straighten the pathway. You can see it's kind of got a lean to it. Things settle, as you know. And so that's a one-day project, but not a today project. But I love having this rose here. She's so healthy for me and just carefree. All right, then we're gonna move from the arbor back to some of our spring bulbs. These are my salmon tulips. They were salmon impression Darwin hybrid tulips. And my tulips actually got attacked by our late freeze. It wasn't just like a light freeze, it was like a really pretty severe freeze. And it not burned is the best word to use, but it froze these little guys at the front, and it just took out their flowers. I don't think anything else is going to be happening with them except having leaves, because I know I saw several of them that had got burned right in this area, and the others weren't blooming either. So I don't know, we'll see. But the ones in the back are, and this is my favorite color. And I highly recommend the Darwin Impression series. There's a pink and a salmon, and they both are fantastic. I plant that color every year, and I just think that they're awesome. The peonies are starting to pop up. I saw that when I was in here weeding the other day. All right, guys, and now my favorite, this is what I call my wedding tree. And this year it bloomed right around our wedding anniversary, my husband and I's wedding anniversary, our 7-year anniversary, because everything bloomed about 2 weeks later this year. So it usually blooms a little earlier, but we got to have this beautiful ornamental cherry tree blooming with these petals all over the ground, and it literally looks like a wedding aisle. It is just absolutely amazing. I love this tree. Let me show you my little display area. Let's just follow the path of the petals, huh? And then here's my little display area, and I'm really liking all the colors this year. I kept some of my pansies, as you can see, and then the purple pansies, my daughter actually pulled those off the other day. I was so sad. Right here, she knows that's a no-no, but my oldest daughter, they were already wilted and they were dying, and she was making a soup with them. Anyway, so the purple are missing, but I've got more of the salmon hybrid tulips in the back, the Darwin Impression series. And then I have some salmon snapdragons that we picked up. Those are from Home Depot a couple weeks back, and they are just wonderful. I love the color that they bring. They're still looking good, and they've been here for like 3 weeks. I have Dusty Miller in my containers still. I had some hyacinth in there, but they've kind of died out. And then let me show you this purple tulip really quick. And of course, those are boxwood that we put in those containers. Those are Green Mountain boxwood. I got them on sale, and I got them back in the fall. And those are kind of my staple for those containers. And then I plant around them. And of course, I have Creeping Jenny, which we also did in the fall. And she's gonna be in there to stay too. So check out that pretty purple tulip. This one is one that my neighbor gave me, and I just love that color. She is so pretty. And here are my spring snowflakes. This is what this variety is called. There's winter snowflakes and spring snowflakes, but these are the spring ones. And they are looking great, especially under this pretty tree. And then up here on the wall, bordering the wall, which actually borders our driveway, so you can imagine we get a lot of peaches on this driveway in July. It's a little crazy, but that's where they planted them. We're gonna take the good with the bad. We're not gonna take them out. These are our peach trees all the way down the side of the wall. And the blooms really do, they come on almost as quick as they go. There was one year where they got taken out by the frost and we hardly had any peaches. And that was all over Georgia. I think it was 2 years ago, and it was really sad. But this year, the late frost we had didn't get these guys. So we should have plenty of peaches. We have another little peach tree up here, and then we're gonna head over to the big garden, and you can see where I have tarped everything to get it ready for planting. And it's probably gonna be mid-April when I start planting this. Maybe a little bit later. I just do a big summer garden usually, and I grow root vegetables, butternut squash, things that I can store over winter. And of course, I'm gonna do some lettuce and some things closer to the house in my little kitchen garden area, but this is my big garden. And then I also do lots and lots of cut flowers up here. We're gonna be working on getting these stock tanks out here with some gravel and sand. That is to be happening in the next couple months. But here's how the big garden is looking right now, just all tarped up. But that is the first step. And like I said, it only takes the weeds out for the first initial time when I plant, and I know that, but it's worth it for me. And then from the big garden, you just swing around, and then back there is where our chicken coop is, and it's awaiting our chicken babies. They're not quite big enough yet, but soon they'll be out there. All right, so she's not even in full bloom yet, but she is looking so beautiful with all of the flowers. That is my old heirloom camellia. I am not even sure the variety, but she blooms mid-March every year to about mid-April, and I just adore having her. And the rose garden is about to get mulched and cleaned up. I'm working on fertilizing it now. I'm going to back off so you can see it better. There we go. This camellia does need to be fertilized, and it did sustain a little bit of damage this winter. You can see with the yellow leaves, but in the summertime, it'll just green right up and be just fine. But unfortunately, there's a little bit of damage, and that's okay. And so here's another update on the rose garden. As I said, I want to put a different border here besides these rocks eventually, but I've moved all the rocks back, and I'm about to go over it with that weed cardboard paper that I use and then mulch it. And I'm going to go all the way under the rocks and put the rocks back so that way I don't have to weed that border pretty much all season. So it is a lot of work, but once I get it done, it takes me about a day. I don't have to weed it again until next year, so it's worth it. But yeah, she is just looking so pretty. I love her. Camellias are almost, my fountain is still covered. It's about to be opened up though. They almost don't look real. They're so pretty. And I have been cleaning out this flower bed, the rose bed, and then back there getting all the leaves out. I just let them kind of gather in the winter. They give them extra protection anyway, but then I have to get them all out. And I've been doing that to uncover the flower beds again so you can actually see them. This one back here gets a ton of leaves that come off of all of these old trees. And it's wild. I swept a huge amount of them downhill today. I can show you that giant pile if you're interested. I don't know if you guys actually care. Anyway, the sweet mademoiselle right here, this one I've had to stake up, and it came like that. Came kind of like laying over. It's not the greatest situation with the canes, but we're gonna see if it pulls through and can be okay. I think it will. And then I have another one over here, another sweet mademoiselle. That's a first year for me to grow this one. I haven't grown it before, so a friend of mine grows it and it looks beautiful. So I trust her. I know that if she can make it look great, I think mine are gonna look wonderful here too. So I never know exactly which order my videos are gonna come out in. Sometimes they get flip-flopped a little bit. I think this one's gonna come out after, or before, sorry, I get these containers planted. But if it doesn't, these are gonna be my new kitchen garden containers, and I'm so excited because I have a big vegetable garden up on the hill, but I really love to have containers back here right behind my house to put herbs in. Sorry about the dogs and some other things, because it's just a lot closer and it makes it a lot nicer. I have some Dusty Millers here that I've got to plant. I've got some carnations back there I'm about to put in, and a couple other things. And I just fertilized all of these roses. I just got that done. And then we'll just head down real quick and I'll just show you Tayton over here on the side. Portlandia is looking really good. I can't wait to see that one bloom. That's a new one for me this year. Sunbelt South Africa, really healthy, looking great. And then Sunbelt Plum Perfect, also a new one for me this year. She's looking pretty good too. This is Blush Noisette, I always say it wrong, Blush Noisette. And then an Iceberg. And there's a bunch up there too of Iceberg and some other ones that I did not point out to you, but they're not blooming yet. So they're just kind of, green. There's not a whole lot to see. And here is the back side of the rose garden that is right under the camellia. There's my red truck. Let's not get that in the shot. Sometimes we park it back there. But these are all Belinda's Dream. And I have one up here by the fountain too. And then I have Sunbelt South Africa, which I just adore. Belinda's Dream and Sunbelt South Africa are two of my favorites. They just do really great. So, and there is a tag that I just cut off. I tell you guys, I'm like the mini Pearl of the flower world, because plant world, I leave tags on and then I cut them off, and I forgot to get that one. I was gonna save it and put it in my scrapbook, but anyway. And then another project that we've been working on, really my husband's been working on this, but we've had a lot of big trees fall. Several in our forest, and then this one over here. There's some of the leaves from the upper rose garden that I raked down here. That took me about half an hour. But back here, He's been trying to clear this tree that fell. And one day one is probably going to fall on our barn, most likely. There's just so many big trees. When people build structures, sometimes they just don't think about all the big trees that are coming up around them. We hope we don't ever lose it, but even some of just the branches, oh my goodness, when they fall are just really bad for that tin roof. And it would cost quite a bit if we took out all of these trees to preserve this barn, which, you know, in someone's world, you would do that, but it's like $3,000-$4,000 to take down trees like this. So, you know, you're looking at a lot of money for all of these trees. So unfortunately, we're just gonna have to not do that. But this tree over here fell, and he's been clearing that. And it takes quite a bit of time, quite the job. And then here are all the seeds that I'm starting right now in our basement. And I have my little seed starting tray right here set up. And then not far from that, I have our little chickens, which are now pretty big. Look at those guys. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you liked today's video. And if you did, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know where you garden and what's going on in your world. And I will see you back here next time in the next video at the Real Southern Garden. Bye, guys.